Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
It's
Chester.
the season.
It's Chester.
Chester's back.
It's our skull
Thanks
of the
for
skull of the season.
Yeah.
Skull season. It's
Thanks for
skull.
celebrating the season with us. Halloween season.
Oh, it is. I was going to ask you what Halloween what it
Halloweezen.
is. Great. We're it's meanwhile back in the 80s.
See if I can get it.
Try it out. Let's see. Welcome to the show. This is a podcast / live streaming show that we do on Twitch and YouTube and Mixer and podcasting apps, and it's a show where
Basically, wherever you're listening to it.
right, or watching, one of us has a scenario, conjures a scenario, and the other one comes up with the topic for the scenario. It's completely random, sort of.
But let's
and,
hear it. Yeah, before that.
Oh, okay. Chester, if you're watching,
What are
this,
you
our
gonna be for
skull is
Halloween
Chester.
this
What am
year?
I going to be for Halloween?
Or what were you if people are listening to this in the
Present past?
past?
So for Halloween, I was or will be. I'm not doing anything. I don't have the kids that day, so I'm gonna be home. My wife and I'll be home. So we got costumes. I've got like a the stupid Scream costume. Didn't get the Scream costume, but that cloak that he wears, I have that. It's a cloak that covers my face, my head, and I got, dude, really, really cool mask. It's just chrome, like a sheer. There's nothing there.
Oh, like Cobra
Like
Commander.
Cobra
I think
Commander,
we
yeah.
talked about
Oh, yeah,
this.
yeah. Like Cobra, exactly like Cobra Commander.
We probably talked about that.
So I'm going to wear that. Now, I'm debating sitting outside for a little while on a chair and just sitting there and let them come up. And as they come up, I can jump up or follow them down the steps or I'm thinking of doing something. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do, but I think I might. I think I kind of want to sit outside for at least a half hour or something.
That sounds good. All right.
That's if we even get a lot there. I don't know. It's the first year in this house. I don't know if it's,
There you go. That's it.
What about you?
So,
are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm dressed up as anything. If anything, I'm just gonna wear my sloth costume again.
Oh, that'd be good. You might as well. You did it. You might as well
Comic-Con.
get at least another
Always gotta
another
go
thing
the
out of
miles
it.
with
Yeah,
it.
get
You
some
know what I
extra
mean?
miles out of it. That's a good one. I like that.
So,
All right, Ken.
Chris was tasked with coming up with a science fiction show, or a movie rather, a horror movie, and a comedy movie.
Yeah. Now you said all three, right? Mm-hmm. You're totally in my camera. That's weird. Right. So you said one of each. Okay. I did get one of each.
Okay.
So.
All right. So here's what's gonna happen. You ready for it?
Okay.
Chris, you are going to omit 100% the horror and the sci-fi. I don't want anything to do with it. Toss them. I didn't want to tip you off on what I wanted you to do.
Oh no.
So ultimately, what you're gonna do is you're gonna give me what is your comedy movie.
All right. Now here's a little thing. I picked a comedy movie.
Yeah.
But then it was too similar. I thought you might be like, no, it's a comedy, but you said it might be too similar.
Yeah.
I thought you might say it's too similar to sci-fi or horror.
Sure. Okay.
It's a little bit of mix of both. Would that be okay? Or I have a flat out
It's supposed
comedy.
to be. You asked me details, and I told you.
But it's
straight up.
But it's
no,
not
just
because
comedy. No horror, no sci-fi, anything.
All right. Well, I'll tell.
Straight up comedy.
Then I'll give you the Coming to America.
Okay.
All right.
Coming to America.
Coming to
Okay.
America.
So you need to make.
I'll tell you the other one after the show. what that one that I was gonna do. All right. So yeah, Coming to America.
What were you gonna do?
Weird Science. See, it's not. I didn't choose
You need to make the comedy into a horror movie. So you could still do it probably with Weird Science. That's not that.
No, actually, I think I want to do Coming to America. Let's do Coming to America. Let's do Coming to America.
Okay. So that's Chris. That's what you're tasked with. Simple task.
Okay.
You're making Coming to America into a horror movie. Now I can't help you out because I've never seen it.
What? You've never seen Coming to America?
No. Nope.
Okay. Well, you can. Okay. Well,
So
I'll tell you
you're
what.
on your own.
I'll tell you what. Then, because I want you to be on this process, you can give me elements, not of the movie, but you throw horror elements at me. We'll do it that way. We'll do it that way.
So basic premise of the movie: Eddie Murphy comes to America.
Yeah. So Eddie Murphy comes to America with
James Earl Jones.
That's his dad. He comes to look for him.
Wait. James Earl Jones is already in America.
No, James Earl Jones is his father.
That comes to look for Eddie
comes
Murphy?
to look for His name is Prince Hakeem. Arsenio Hall is his servant friend Remy, right? And then you have King Jaffe. Or Jaffe. So the end of Coming to America, he marries Lisa. right? Is that her name?
Well, what's the whole purpose of the movie? Why does he go to America?
He's looking for a wife. He wants to look for his own wife, or he wants to sow his royal oats, or seed, or whatever whatever the phrase is, right?
That sounds good.
That's why he comes, and he wants because he had an arranged marriage, and he didn't want that. So then when he finds her, he ends up going back, and he's going to end up marrying the other one, but it turns out to be I'm pretty sure it's Lisa. I can look it up. I got to look it up. So they're in there. And at the very end of the movie, she's like, you were going to give this all up for me? Because he was like, I'll give up everything for you. I'll give up this whole prince thing, king thing, country thing. And she's like, you were going to do that for me? He's like, yeah. She's like, do you want me to? She's like, nah. So it ends where they're that. Now.
All right.
Now
So,
you're telling me we're making a horror
You're making a horror movie out of this. No.
It's a sequel?
You're making this movie as if it was going to come out, but it's going to be a horror movie instead.
Can it be a comedy horror? Because
I think we're gonna make it. We're just gonna go with it. Like Lisa's like she's like a closet, like she's like a vampire or something. Why don't we ever date at night? Why don't we ever date during the day? I want to. No,
yeah, okay. I was gonna say let her be a killer.
Right.
Let her be a killer.
Something like that.
Okay, so she's a killer. A vampire? Yeah. All right.
Maybe she's like a vampire, and it's just kind of like so weird. Like,
okay,
she never comes out during the day.
I have an idea. Yes. So her father, his name is Cleo McDowell. Her name is McDowell, and he had a restaurant called McDowell's, and he's like, there's a line in there that says, the McDonald's has golden arches. We've got the golden, what did he call them? I forget what he said, but it's like they have the golden arches. We have something else. Instead of like an M, it was like a weird like ellipses or something, right?
Like a picture of Andy.
No, it was an M. It was like from McDowell's. It was like a more stylized M. Anyway, he has a chain of restaurants.
Did you get the joke?
No, I didn't actually, because I'm not there. I'm thinking, what did you say?
Andy McDowell.
Andy McDowell. Okay, I gotcha. No, so check this out. Lisa's a vampire.
Yeah.
You're right. Good one.
Yes.
She kills people at night. Is it too dark if we make it that she supplies the meat for her father's chain restaurant?
Ooh, no, that's a little bit like Tales from the Crypt.
I like
the
it.
Christopher Reeve Tales
Let's
from the
do
Crypt.
it.
That was good.
Now, I don't want to jump the gun here, but Sam Jackson played a hobo thug in this. He played a guy that tried robbing the store. Okay. We have that scene.
Yeah.
Right? We'll have that scene. And Prince Akeem, Eddie Murphy, this man, he takes him out, using like a mop handle and stuff, a broom handle, whatever. And what we don't see in this movie, we'll see the continuation of that, is that he's like, oh man, he got beat up, blah, blah, blah. And Lisa shows up. And she's like, oh, so you think you can try and rob my dad's store? And she, disposes of him. And the next day, that meat's fresh, because we could say like McDowell's fresher than McDonald's or something, like the freshest meat you'll get on the block. You know what I'm saying? Because it was out in Queens. They did this all in Queens, right?
Yeah.
So I think that, and then he can have a joke like, oh, I don't know, I can't think. Can you come up with a joke he can say about, oh, remember that guy that tried robbing us? Well, he's on the menu or something. I don't know. No, that's a little much. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so I went down a bad hole on that one, but okay, so he meets Lisa, and he meets her at how did they meet again? At the party. I think he met at the party at Cleo's house. Yes, he met her at. He made Remy and Akeem waiters at his house after they got hired. So they were waiters at his house. That's how he met Lisa and the sister. And the sister wanted to try and get with Akeem. Like the sister was like a little strumpet, if you will, So now, is the sister a vampire? Yes, she's also a vampire.
She is. Or maybe she's reluctant. Maybe she's like, I can't get on board with the family.
No.
I don't know
you
what's
mean
going
which
on
one?
with you guys.
Lisa?
No, her sister.
No, the only thing is, I think you got to keep.
She's kind of the voice of reason.
No, because the sister.
I feel like you need a voice of reason.
Hold on. The only problem is that the sister would be more the one to be reckless and do that.
But that's
and Lisa she's the book smart. She's the college student.
I get it, but she's.
You want to reverse the roles?
But that's the thing is, like, she is a vampire. She has no choice but to be a vampire. Her sister is kind of like, I'm not into that. I can't get behind that stuff. But however, hear me out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, go.
She doesn't want to she doesn't want to be a vampire. She wants to be a vampire. She is a vampire, Lisa. Okay.
Yeah,
Lisa's a vampire. She has no choice, and her sister's kind of like, listen, what you're doing is wrong. Blah blah blah, all that stuff. Like you don't need to just do it because mom and dad are vampires, blah blah blah, anything like that. Okay, and now the only thing that gets her to stop her vampire ways towards the end of the movie is when her sister does become a vampire. Her sister becomes a vampire, and then Lisa now sees it and goes, I don't like this. I don't like this lifestyle.
So
and that's when she
Lisa was the main killer the whole movie.
Yeah.
And her sister, who I forget her name, I can look it up in a second, didn't want to do it.
Right.
I mean,
but her sister sacrificed herself to save her sister. To save Lisa.
Okay.
Her sister sacrificed herself to save Lisa.
What's the sister's name? I gotta get the
I don't
sister's
know
name.
what the
I'll look in a
sister's
second.
name
Yeah, I mean, no, that makes total sense. The only problem I'm having, the only issue I have with it is that, well, it's right here. I got it right here.
I know, but it's, come on.
The only problem I have with that is that the sister was more, I feel like the sister was would be more of the, I mean, that's normally it. Like the sister was more of the one that would be the one making all the killing.
That's why it's kind of like
throwing it on its head. I got you.
Yeah. So when you actually watch the whole entire movie,
man.
You think it's her, and then you find out it's not, and then it's like this crazy thing.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, is the father also?
All right. So the sister's name is
a vampire. Well, they're both McDowell. So if you find the McDowell,
there's Cleo, Lisa McDowell, and the sister is. Yeah, Cleo's youngest daughter and Lisa's sister. So here.
Which one? What's her name? I got it right here. Too.
I know, but this is a little bit more professional.
It's just bigger.
I know.
What's her name? Patrice. Yeah, okay. Her name is Patrice. Okay, so what do you think?
Patrice, yeah. So I like that
so
idea.
Lisa's the killer, provides the meat for Cleo.
Yes, but you don't know that. It's kind of like you think it's going to be Patrice.
Okay.
And then you find out that it is Lisa because now Lisa starts to fall for
Prince Akeem.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So
it is horror-ish.
Yeah.
It's a love story. It's sweet. It's nice.
Didn't Eddie Murphy do a movie called it wasn't Blackula, it was he did a movie
Vampire in Brooklyn?
Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
This is Queens,
this
though.
Is different. Yeah, this is Queens. Yeah.
So
Vampire in Queens.
So, okay. So, is Cleo the father? Is he a vampire?
Yeah,
because he's out during the day, though.
Yes,
but he's able to be out during the day. As you get older,
necessarily.
Because he's out there, though.
But then you don't need to worry about that. Like that's the thing is you're changing this aspect
of the story. You just don't
need to keep him in his daylight scenes.
All right. So check this out. All right, so we know all that. So that's the whole thing. At the end, okay, so Patrice also was kind of into Prince Akeem, okay? So what could happen is Cleo is the one looking for a suitor for his daughter. He always was. In fact, he always Eric LaSalle was in this too. And he wore the don't get your soul glow. You know what I mean? Remember that Soul Glow? It was the Jerry curl stuff. And him and his whole family. God, it's such a good movie. We have to watch this movie, dude. It's so good, man. It's so good. Him and his whole family have this Jerry curl spray in their hair, and they sit on the couch, and then when they all get up, the mom, dad, and grandmother all get up, and there's just stains on the back of the couch. Sorry, guys. It's just so funny. It's so good. So, okay. So he thought, Cleo thought that this guy who comes from money and stuff like that was going to be a good suitor for his daughter, But then it turns out like he's not. He's a flake. He's dumb. He does whatever. Then he realized, Prince Akeem's actually really good. You know what? Yeah. So now he's trying to get Prince Akeem to wed his daughter Lisa. But Patrice, we'll bring it back. So there's a whole scene where maybe they have him like tied up, and they have him and Remy tied up, and they're gonna sacrifice. She's gonna bite him and make him a prince. Plus he wants to be. He's like, I can go back to that country and we can rule that country because he's gonna be king. If he's a vampire, he's gonna be part of because Cleo would be his master, essentially, right? Because through the daughter, through him, I can control him and I can basically run the country and have my own country
there you
and
go.
stuff.
So now
right?
he has a motive, yeah.
So that's his motive. But what happens is, like you said, Patrice at the end can sacrifice herself, making Lisa see.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay.
So it seems like a lot of the stuff in these in vampire shows and everything like that seem to be like there's always like a group of vampires,
Right.
and they'll get bitten, right? And it seems like some are victims and they just die, and then some actually like join the group, like they actually like them enough to keep them in their little.
Well, I think
clique.
I think with vampires, general lore is intent. So if I'm biting you just for food, then that's all you are. You're cattle to me. You're just a meal. But if I'm intending to not drain you, and now you have the virus in you, the whatever, usually considered a virus, right? Then, then you can become one, or something like that. I mean, it's of course there's so many different origin stories, but I think in general, but yeah, no, I think that's cool. I think. Yeah, and like you said, how come we never go out during the day or whatever? And she, for some reason, Cleo can go out during the day. It doesn't matter. He's an elder vampire. It doesn't matter.
But why? What's the purpose of him going out during the day? Why is that so necessary?
I'm just trying to think of scenes. I'm trying to see if we can. I'm just thinking twist some scenes.
What I think is, pick me up at like 10 o'clock.
No, you mean the daughter. You mean the daughter? No, the daughter. Yeah.
Well, she'll say that to him, and he'll be like, "Oh, that's an early date." And she'll be like, "No, I mean it at night."
Night, yeah.
And be like, "Oh, that's weird," stuff like that. Yeah. And now Arsenio Hall is with him, right?
Yeah.
And he can be like, "Man, don't you think this is strange? These guys are vampires and stuff like that." And everyone's like, "What is wrong with you?" Smack him.
Yeah.
This is something, you know what I mean? Yeah. So things like that, like he thinks it, and Eddie Murphy's the only one who doesn't think it, and then it happens and everything like that. And he does kind of like, there's like a moment where he tries to tell him and just be like, "Listen, man," and he's just like, "I don't want you to get a big head about it or anything like that. I know I didn't believe you and stuff, and I knew it. See, you should always listen to me, blah blah blah."
Okay.
All that stuff should be funny. But anyway, so like there could be like a kind of like a theme in the movie where, all right, they have a restaurant. They can go into the restaurant and work there and be like, "Hey, we work long hours and everything like that." She can tell him. Lisa can tell, Prince Akeem.
She did the books, I think. She's
yeah. So I mean, it could change. Right, because now it's a horror movie, so obviously we're changing some things.
Well, does she work at night?
But that's the thing is, it could be we work at night and be like, "Hey, listen, restaurant business is big at night. We got a bar in there and everything.
What's
there could be a bar in there and everything. So
maybe
we stay open late.
Maybe we don't make it a McDonald's, a fast food restaurant. We make it a restaurant.
So we start late at night, stuff like that.
It opens at noon.
Yeah.
Or late. It opens up at sundown.
Yeah.
Opens at sundown.
There you go. So that way it's always like, and then she's like, "Well, I can't go out during the day and everything like that because of like my schedule.
I'm busy. Yeah, I'm busy. I'm in school or I'm doing
sleeping.
whatever. Yeah,
I'm sleeping. That's when I sleep. I sleep during the day and I wake up and we do the work at night.
Yeah,
that's just it. Right. And if I go out during the day, I'm going to either be half asleep the whole time,
right,
or you're going to throw me off my schedule, and I can't do that. I'm dedicated to the business.
Well, that's easy, right? That's an easy fix to get them to get that around.
So that way he's not tipped off on that.
Right. Okay. So at the end, so he came to look for a queen.
Yeah.
Cleo wants him to be. Hold on, I'm working on a twist here. This is what I want to do. Does Cleo die? Do they kill Cleo? Here's the thing. Work with me here. Ready?
So you want to have a funny scene where he's like, "Why do you got the blinds down?" In the restaurant, and he opens up the blinds, the sun comes in and like
maybe because I was picturing this. I mean, it could be something like that. But okay, let's work this out. King Joffrey comes from the country to get his son back, right? He goes and he marries Lisa at the end of that. And originally, I was thinking, what if we had, they get married and whatever, and at the very end, she turns and bites him, and like that's the end, You
may now bite.
No. They get married and like they're on the way out and they're in like a carriage or whatever, right? And they're like, and everyone's like, "Hey!" And then they finally get to like their room or whatever, for, to consummate the marriage or whatever the heck. And then she bites him. Like that was my original thought.
And that's when Arsenio Hall just like peeks up from the bottom of the bed. Told you.
No, maybe. No. He knew. They were captured. Remember? They had them like strung up and they were gonna bite him. Well, hold on. Let me finish my thought.
Oh.
It turns out I want to do something. Is it dumb if we have King Joffrey being a vampire too? Like another family of vampires.
Oh, a little twisted.
See that? And when it comes back, or something.
Dude, you were a vampire the whole time.
You know what I'm
idiot.
saying? You know, but maybe he didn't know. Maybe it skips a generation and he didn't know. You know?
Like Teen Wolf.
Yeah. Yes.
Like some kind
Yes.
of like weird like
Yes.
hereditary passed down
Yeah.
genetically.
And she makes him, and he makes Lisa bite him, or
go.
something. And maybe like I don't know.
Or she goes to bite him, and then she's like, "What the?" He'd be like, "What?" And she'd be like, "Dad, I tried to bite him. He's already a vampire."
Oh yeah, maybe he kept that a secret the whole time.
Or he didn't know.
Oh, maybe he just didn't know. Okay. Anyway, that's what I want to do. I want to do something like that. Yeah. Like it turns out, like they're all vampires.
Yeah, everybody's
they're all vampires.
The
whole thing, they're all vampires.
And Penelope, what's Patrice?
Patrice, yeah.
Patrice is like the only normal one.
I was gonna say maybe she wasn't a vampire.
The
Yeah, maybe
whole
if we do that skip thing, she didn't know. But I also like the whole thing where you said Remy pops up and goes, "Told you." I like that too.
So we did make it a horror comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I feel like it's a dark comedy. You know, it's not uproarious laughter. It's just it is what it is. I don't know. I like that. All right.
So that works. Fine.
It's still calling it Coming to America.
Yeah.
Still call it Coming to America. Why not?
Vampire in Queens.
Real quick, as a little bonus,
Yeah.
how would we turn Weird Science into a?
Oh gosh, Weird Science. Well, I was
Into
gonna
a
say
horror.
like it's gonna have to have something to do with what they create, and they create her, the Kelly LeBrock, was it?
Kelly
Something like
LeBrock,
that?
yep.
Right.
As Lisa.
As Lisa.
As Lisa. Oh, I didn't realize that.
This is a popular 80s name.
Yeah.
So I feel like they create her. She comes.
She kills
you know,
everybody.
in and
she's a killer.
Yeah, she's
she
a
kills
killer.
everybody. Yeah, that's basically
like
but
all
she
you
also
can
maybe she creates
Or-
little minions with her.
Or let's put a twist on this a little bit.
Okay, all right.
How about this? They create people to kill. That's what they do
Wait,
with Weird Science.
say it again.
These two kids,
Right.
that do the computer program
Gary and
to like
Wyatt.
make people. That's the whole thing. Is like they have a computer program, right?
So they
How does she
create
become real?
Weird Science.
Because I've never seen the movie.
It's Weird Science. Oh, it's like they hook her up to the computer and they just make her real. It's like
That's
a
it.
doll, and she
But
just
that's the thing
comes
is-
to-
They have been doing this, and they keep creating people and murdering them and letting them go and hunting them.
Oh, these two
Murdering
kids are
them.
doing
The
that?
Two kids are doing it. They finally create her, and she fights back.
Oh, so she's the heroine and not the killer. Wow.
We're gonna
Okay.
throw it on its little tail right there.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
That's
See, 'cause
really
if you could
interesting,
just
yeah.
create people like
Yeah.
unlimited people.
What's different? And you
nobody knows.
they weren't
Nobody
born.
knows. Right.
You
Nobody
created
knows.
them, so I'll do what I want with them. Sick.
Isn't that
Okay,
nuts?
that's
There's
cool.
an
And she's
unlimited
the- and
supply.
And she's
of
the
people to
heroine of
kill.
that.
And then they go after her.
Oh, I like that.
They're done with her,
Weird
and then
Science.
she. Yeah.
That's a good title for that too. If so
is.
works. Good stuff.
That's a
All
good
right,
one.
yeah,
We don't
that's
even need a whole show.
That's a
based
2
on
for
that
1. That's
You
a
like that.
2 for 1
Two
right
for
there.
One, yep.
That's pretty good.
So there you go.
All right,
Coming
cool.
to America and Weird Science. If they were.
Eric LaSalle's
horror
name was
movies.
Daryl Jenks.
That's okay. That's all right.
All right. Well, hey, listen. That's you got a 2 for 1 deal. Spooky. It was good stuff. I
Yep.
enjoyed that. Next week we're gonna have another spooky scenario for you.
Yep.
Oh, I get to make this one up. Okay,
Yeah, you're gonna
good.
make
I
this
got.
one up.
All right,
Yep,
I got to
yep,
come
yep.
up with you.
So continue the conversation on Discord.
Oh yeah, we've got a Discord at Do You Even 80s
Yeah.
Bro.
What movies would you make into horror movies? You don't have to answer during the Halloween season.
Yeah,
It could
anytime
be,
you want.
It could be St.
Let
Patrick's
us know.
season.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's season.
St.
That
Patrick-
works, doesn't it?
Right? And you can let us know then. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
What
all
movie would you add a leprechaun to?
Oh yeah, good point. Transformers the movie. Make it a leprechaun.
Like the
Don't
86?
they do that sometimes?
86
They do that sometimes. They just add, or even in the show, they just add like, oh, this episode has a leprechaun in it. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
They had that one episode with the little energy creature like Kremzik or something like that, and he was like bouncing.
that's what
around.
I'm saying. Like dumb little things like
stupid,
that.
because
Why
they're
do
out of
you do-
ideas,
they're out of
man.
ideas. Yeah, it's like
And then Thundercats is like, let's have the whole series with some stupid snarf in it.
Snarf.
Snarf is in the. It's not even like he was just in one episode.
Love it. Who's worse though, Snarf or Orko?
I don't know. Orko never bothered me.
Really?
Never bothered
The
me.
toy bothered me.
But but
That's not floating, bro. It's not floating, all right?
I couldn't see his strings as a cartoon.
See
either.
his string, so you didn't know if he was real or not. Anyway, that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. We'll love you guys
And or listening.
and or listening. That's right. Yeah. If you do listen, can you review us? We got like 1 or 2 reviews on there. Can you just review us on iTunes or whatever thing you do it on? Just throw a little review. Tell people about the show so people can come and listen and watch and whatever. Thank you for all the support, and we'll see you next time. Ken, say something remotely 80s Halloween-ish.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Halloween ain't like it used to be.
Well, no, it's definitely not.
You know?
It's definitely not. Remember when it used to rain and you'd still go trick-or-treating, but
gosh.
you drive to every house in the car?
Dude, there was one day it was so bad trick-or-treating. It was like a monsoon outside.
It was like, wasn't it like 3 years in a row? It was like a monsoon?
Everybody went trick-or-treating the next night instead.
Oh, the next night. Oh.
And we went through the whole neighborhood. You got
people
everything.
had candy.
One house was like, it's not Halloween. One house.
Wow.
Out of probably like,
30, 40, something like that, yeah.
Ridiculous amount of houses.
Wow. All right.
And everybody
Very
was
good.
like, oh, yeah.
What are they going to do with that? What are they going to do with that?
What are you going to do?
What are they going to do with that?
Yeah.
You got to get rid of the candy.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Cool. All right. That's it. See ya. Bye.